Welcome in to the Bro Force Squad podcast, where we are just a bunch of bros drinking beer and clicking our heels together watching movies. This is our movie commentary on The Wizard of Oz, the 1939 classic, where we're going to watch the movie along with you at home. And thank you again for joining us. I am your host, the Mayor, Jeff Hornacek. And before we go around and meet the fellow bros, let's let you sync your movies up with ours. So, a reverse timestamp as I'm watching this on Roku on HBO Max. There is 1 hour, 41 minutes, 33 seconds left in the film, and a visual timestamp for you to get synced up. The Metro Goldwyn Mayer logo and the corresponding line have just faded off my screen, and so it's just black at this moment. So while you get sunk up with us, let's go around and meet the fellow bros, and we begin with our legal counsel, Ronnie Cycli. Now, Ronnie, legal question for you. Dorothy has an employer in Kansas. She goes to Oz, does some psychedelic drugs where, of course, they are legalized. She comes back, fails a drug test. Is that grounds to fire her, even though where she did them, they are legal?
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately for Dorothy, you got to make the decisions you make. You have to be conscious of where you're going back to. So while you might particularly, participate in illegal activity, it's not going to work when you go back home. So, maybe she shouldn't have made those wishes at the end.
Or maybe she just shouldn't have gone back. Just stay in Oz. You're crushing it.
Yeah, why would you leave a place with legal drugs?
It doesn't make sense. So many questions. And next we have the American hero, Nate Thurmond. Nate, I'm actually really excited you're on this movie commentary because didn't you work a summer internship for The Wizard of Oz? What was that like?
It was fine. The pay was crappy. Drugs obviously were good. Got into a few feuds with the little people in Oz. So pending lawsuit. It's been pending for like 70 years now. So I don't think anything's going to go through with it, but we're still seeing what's going to happen.
You want a jury trial there because no one's going to side with those annoying fucks.
No, we're still holding out.
So were any of the Munchkins also interns with you at the same time? Or were they like the full-time employees and they were like showing you the ropes?
Yeah, they were the full-time employees and they were just a little arrogant, and I didn't like that coming from them. So
did you at least get college credit for it?
Yeah, one though. It was like one. I was like, I take one class and it's like 3 credits. What am I doing here?
Was the problem that they were making you get the coffee?
Yeah, and I knew that was in the job description, but I just didn't feel like doing it.
You should tell them coffee stunts your growth, and you guys are already playing behind the ball.
Well, all right, good episode.
We are going to press play on The Wizard of Oz in 3, 2, 1, play.
All right, let's get into this.
I've said it off pod. This is, and probably forever will be, the oldest movie we've done a commentary on, right? 1939 release for The Wizard of Oz.
By you saying that now, that makes me just want to pull random silent films out of our hat. And
yeah.
I don't know who our audience is for that, but we should do it.
Yeah, there's probably not much going on before this that we're gonna do a commentary for. But yeah, to Cycli's point, now I kind of want to break the record.
We should do the first film.
The first film ever.
Yeah.
We have a lot to say on that. Banner and I have talked about this on one of the Godzilla movies, but the credits used to be like this before the film, basically. What do we think about that shift to now them being after? It kind of takes you out of the movie before it even starts, right?
But it makes sense to me. I mean, do I like sitting through credits? No, but if you're someone who worked hard on the film and you're so excited for people to recognize you, people are out of the movie by the second the credits come up.
Yeah.
So I understand fundamentally why you should show it early.
Yeah, that part makes sense, I guess.
It's like you don't have a playbill in a film, right? Like when you go to Broadway, like you get a chance to sit and look at appreciate the people who worked on it.
Yes, we got a lot to read here now.
A lot of exposition here. Apparently the story was written in 1900 because it said for over 40 years. Visually, I mean, Wizard of Oz fucking blew people's minds at the time.
Yeah, it was one of the first to use, not technically color, but it was like Technicolor is, I believe, what they used. I didn't fact check any of this, but I think that's.
Sad
right.
fact: Toto is no longer with us. He did not make it to.
What?
Yeah, Terry the dog.
Drug overdose, I believe.
Can we talk about? I don't know when you guys want to get into this, but like Judy Greer, the way she would.
Judy Garland.
Judy Garland.
Why did I say Judy Garland? Yeah, Judy Garland.
Drunk.
Judy Greer is an actress.
A little bit. Yeah, not the right person. The way she was treated in this film. Have you guys read about that or heard anything about that?
I've heard something, but please refresh me in for the people at home who might not know.
Yeah, so it's pretty tragic.
Like the director or
the entire cast, or the entire just production.
Film, like definitely a minor, right?
I believe so. I don't know exactly. Nate,
she was 16.
Okay,
but there's a lot you can read about, like the abuse she dealt with on set it's pretty bad, and it's really sad. Like again, like to look back on especially where culture was in the 1930s and women in film. And also I don't think it was just particular to Judy Garland, also the witch, who we'll see soon, how she was kind of portrayed after this film came out. It's pretty crazy to see that movies that, it was the only thing out. So it was so much focus on this. And, Judy was basically bullied.
Yeah. Doing a little research on this before, I didn't realize this. But yeah, she's 16 years old in this. But she had to wear like this really tight corset to kind of make her a little smaller in the waist and make her a little more flat chested, because I guess she's supposed to be like an adolescent in this. So I'm guessing they're trying to make her play like 12.
This, I guess, was a notoriously fucked up set. I mean, there's obviously and I'm sure it's been edited out, but there was one of the actors who played one of the Munchkins committed suicide on set, right?
Yeah, hung himself, which I think has been removed digitally from any recordings after that. So,
like the character itself was removed.
So there was like a shadow you could see of a body.
He was like in the background of one of.
Oh my god! I don't think I knew that.
Yeah.
I'm sure on Google image search you could probably find the.
Yeah.
Old
Did no one know? Like, I mean,
the editing back in 1939, I'm sure wasn't.
But I mean, like when they were filming, they were like, "Hey, there's a body up there." Fuck.
I don't know. Obviously, as a kid, never made the connection. That this is Tin Man, Lion, and Scarecrow.
Yeah, I did, but what I was going to say a second ago, like growing up, this is one of my sister's favorite movies. So I watched this. I haven't seen it probably in 15, 20 years, but growing up, watched a ton of it. My first Halloween, I was actually the Cowardly Lion, and she was Glinda the Good Witch. So.
Oh, I think I've actually seen that picture.
I was actually scouring like social media. Like, did my sister post that sometime?
Because
it's obviously
your mom might have shown me a photo. I've seen you as the Cowardly Lion.
Yeah,
I think fundamentally too, like we're still in that the generation that like our parents obviously weren't born or alive yet when this film came out, but still this film was so iconic. Even in the 50s, our parents growing up in the 50s or 60s, like people saw this film, and so it was shared with us. Like, I don't know if like this is still being shared.
To say it's iconic is an understatement of
yes
century. Well, and let's just speak about like the things that have transcended time. Nate actually introduced me. I don't know if you remember this, Nate, in college to an unbelievable acoustic ukulele version of this song.
Yeah, Israel. I can't pronounce his last name because it's
the Hawaiian, right?
Yeah,
super Hawaiian. Four apostrophes in it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's passed on too.
Yeah, he had a little bit of.
He was he had an overweight, right? Was that what the issue?
A bit.
Great. Amazing voice though, and that rendition is. That one may be almost as popular as the original now.
Mm-hmm.
It fucking slaps. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's a solid.
Toto, I had heard total diva on set, like wouldn't come out of his trailer until like right before they had to shoot. Even then, he didn't know his lines. They had to feed them to him, and he actually hosted Saturday Night Live promoting the movie, and he was so high on set that he actually missed. He couldn't introduce the musical guest one time. He was just passed out backstage.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah,
he was actually the big abuser of Judy Garland. That he was the problem.
Yeah.
He was one of the first crossover dogs to actually get high on catnip. So.
Oh, wow.
Pretty interesting.
So a trailblazer, really.
Yeah,
How well trained
trailblazer
is he to
in
get him
industry.
to sit on this?
He was actually paid more per week. This is actually a true fact. He was actually paid more per week than some of the Munchkins on set. He was paid $125 per week, and
I feel like that's a really good trivia question.
Yeah, he was paid like $125, and some of the Munchkins were only paid like $50 a week. But yeah, he was a pretty big deal back in the day. Terry the dog was his name, or I think it was a girl. Her name.
Oh wow, Toto is a boy though, right?
That's what I thought. Yeah, like in the movie, I always thought it was a boy.
Well, that feels like a male name, but again, we don't actually see Toto's penis, at least in this version.
Wait, where's the zoom in? In 1939, give us the crotch shot.
Hyper focused on this dog's dick. I don't remember it being this long until the tornado hit.
So here we're getting like we had mentioned,
Margaret.
There's a bunch of backstory here. Yeah.
Yeah. We got the characters who play the, Scarecrow, Cowardly Lion, all that. So this is obviously the actress who plays a witch. So if you look her up in real life, she was a massive child advocate, like a really good person.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like she did so much for the community and children overall back then, especially throughout, I could be completely wrong, but like I recall her doing a lot of activism during the Great Depression. And the sad thing is this movie, she's obviously the villain, think about it, people in modern age still belittle characters for who they play on screen, right? Like that still happens. So think of she was just so vilified after this film. It like broke her heart that children were scared of her. Like her whole life had been dedicated.
My mom showed this movie to me when I was probably like 4 or 5. And I remember having a visceral reaction to her on screen. Like probably pissed literally. And having nightmares that, like, her monkeys would come and grab me in my room and fly me away.
Yeah.
Do God knows what.
But it's funny. It's like, okay, fine, 1939, it was so new to everyone. People are still doing that, like, with Star Wars is the best example, right? Yeah. Like, how they will just hate someone for just playing a character that someone else wrote.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I felt bad for her. Her story is pretty tragic, too. I don't think she was as bullied as Judy, but still.
Yeah. Judy Garland said she had a tough time, like, actually being terrified of her because, like, offset, she was like, or like whenever the cameras weren't rolling, she was such a nice person.
And I don't think she had a lot of nice people to lean on.
Yeah.
This is an IMDb Horns fun fact. Margaret Hamilton, who plays the Wicked Witch and also Miss Gulch here, said she was a lifelong fan of the Oz books and was ecstatic when she learned that she was considered for the part of the film. When she phoned her agent to find out what role she was up for, her agent simply replied, and this is where you need to fire the guy for being an asshole. He said, quote, "The witch, who else?" End quote. Excuse me?
Yeah, I don't know the context if he's saying like, of course, you're kind of a bitch, you're going to get the witch role, or like...
But there's 2 witches, right? Like, she could have been the good one.
Yeah, Glinda, yeah.
But no.
Because, like, I don't mean maybe who did she think she was getting? She's obviously too young for Dorothy.
Right.
Yeah.
This might be a dumb question because I know Wicked is obviously like one of the most famous stage plays. Is The Wizard of Oz like a popular stage play as well? Or has Wicked just sort of usurped it? I don't think
so. I think Wicked is just a play on it.
Well, I think The Wizard of Oz is still done like in a play since it's like a musical. It's got a lot of songs in it, so I think it's one that's done regularly on stage as well.
Yeah,
I'm surprised because there's a whole like book series related to Oz, and I think they've tried bringing them, some of the stories to film. It just has not taken off.
This falls into the category of Horns just fucking Google it, but I'm not going to. Is that James Franco movie, Oz, the Great and Powerful, is that supposed to be a sequel to this, a prequel to this, or completely unrelated and just based on something from the book series? Do we remember?
One of those is probably the answer, yeah.
Or none of it.
Or something different. I don't know.
Or some combination of all and none.
I don't think I ever realized... This is so stupid to admit. Do you guys remember the first season of You? Yeah. I didn't know there were so many books related to Oz. Do you remember? Because Joe in the show You is obsessed with books.
Yeah.
And he meets that witch girl. And she has like the OG sets of the Oz books, and they're worth so much. And he steals
What's her name?
one.
Peach? Is that her name?
Peach, yeah, I think you're right. Like I was like, what? There's multiple of these books?
Spoiler,
it's embarrassing
Peach
to find
dies.
out that late.
Also, spoiler: Joe pees in a mason jar.
Oh, he does.
in that same episode.
That's funny.
Yeah, but it's funny.
Toto,
This is
I heard Toto, purposely fucked up this scene so he would get to eat multiple hot dogs.
it's like, oops, did I do it wrong?
Cut. We need to do it again.
That wasn't my best take from the top.
If you want, okay. Just purposely like shitting on camera.
Whoops.
That makes me think when I was in elementary school, like we had like a thing where we got to taste candy, but we would close our eyes because it was like about your senses, and you were supposed to act like you were blind, and you had to guess the taste of the candy by not looking at it. Yeah, I like got it wrong every single time because you're supposed to go until you get it right.
Genius.
Oh no!
What? I suck.
That's not
You
lemon.
guessed
Oh
Kit Kat
god!
on the Starburst. I'm not really sure if you're trying your hardest.
How unfortunate.
No.
This guy's like, look, now we'll go in the back. I'm just going to take a few headshots of you. I'm really connected on the acting scene, so I can send these around to some producers. And you should have a role by the end of the week. Why do I need to be topless? It's just part of the gig, babe.
Out of all places, 1930s Kansas is probably not the best place to run away. I'm sure there's like 50 miles between civilizations at this time, or towns.
That's still a fact in Kansas.
Yeah, true. I was about to, okay, well, it still stands true.
Worst drive in the country is going through Kansas.
So fucking boring.
Speaking of Kansas, fun fact about this, I had a professor in college, Jeff, you might have been in this class, for cultural geography.
Oh, yeah.
And he said that one time in college, when he was in college, they had to do some research paper or something, and their hypothesis or theory or whatever was to see if Kansas was actually flatter than a pancake. And their conclusion was that it was. So they basically just made a pancake, did like a topography map of a pancake, blew it up to the size of Kansas with the same square mileage, and like those little crevices and everything were actually bigger than any hill or anything in Kansas.
That's amazing.
Interesting. And then they ate the pancake, so everyone won.
Yeah. It was a win-win-win.
We need to get these hats that this guy has. Do you mind if I use the Bro 4 Squad bank account and I'll buy us a pod set of them?
I think you could pull it off.
Yeah, we can expense that, I think.
Another IMDb fun fact. A recent study, that doesn't cite from where, but we'll just have to believe IMDb, claimed this is the most watched movie in film history, largely due to the number of TV screenings each year, as well as the various video, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K releases, which have enabled children of every and all generations to see it. Now, I'll be honest, and Nate, you'll have to help me here because I've basically cut the cord, but is this actually on, like, I guess Turner Classic Movies maybe, but I don't really see this on TV that much anymore.
I don't think so. And yeah, TCM might be it because this is one of my favorite places to go look for movies is on the HBO Max app under the Turner Classic Movies filter or whatever. Yeah, I don't know if it's on TV.
Dude, the effects here, holy shit!
I mean, not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
And
this kind of blew people's minds, right? First off, I guess color in and of itself was sort of new as far as an aesthetic in film, right? Like at this time.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't a thing.
And so for them to, I think this thing does an awesome job with color palettes. Like obviously Kansas looks dreary and like anybody would want to get out, so they portray that pretty well.
But the way like they just don't even introduce color until like they go to Oz is so like I mean.
Yeah, one of the crazy facts that actually saw on IMDb earlier was that the only location footage in the entire film were the clouds when they're in the opening scene and like doing like the credits, like that was the only location footage.
Interesting.
Which is insane. So I'm guessing like all this is like on a stage, which it looks great.
I can say, don't want to speak for you guys, but we all grew up in Tornado Alley. This is exactly how it is every day.
Yeah.
Every day, yes. 300, at least 360 out of 360.
At least, yeah. We'll get like 3 or 4 days of just okay weather.
And I of course have my standing appointment in the morning with a fortune teller.
Yes. Naturally.
Look at these effects.
Yeah, there was
Toto is just really fucking chill right now. He's like, I'm good, bro.
He's like, no,
Dude,
it's fine.
my dogs are freaking out if it's like sprinkling outside. I'm like, okay.
We've all been like drunk at 2 a.m. and this is what it feels like is happening, right? When you lay down, it's like, holy shit.
Which is awful, and I don't know if it's still the same, but Banner back in college used to love getting the spin.
He still loves the spin.
He still does? Okay.
At least the last time I got drunk with him.
So weirdo.
I thought as he got older he would hate it, but he's stuck with it.
Once he told me it's like being on a roller coaster or something. Like he's like, it's fun. I was like, whoa.
Well, not so much when I want to go to sleep.
Or when I'm wanting to not throw up.
Yeah, that too.
Twister definitely inspired by this scene.
Oh, yeah.
Same.
See, I think this is supposed to be humorous, but as a kid, this just freaked me the fuck out.
Yeah,
like,
same.
I didn't find any of this like levity to the movie. This to me was like impending doom, the end of the world. I guess we can get into this more towards the end, but I'm sure there's a lot of, I probably should have done some Reddit research before this, but Cycly, do you know of any like theories people have about like what is, I mean, is it just assumed that this is all a dream that she has?
I think it's supposed to be real. Like that's my, again, just based on the amount of books related and the, you know, other stories involved, like Oz is a real place. Maybe Nate, what do you think?
To my best recollection, I think it's supposed to be a dream. Which I think, like I said, I haven't seen this in like 20 years, but I watched it a lot growing up. Pretty sure it's like kind of explained what happens. I won't spoil it for you guys if you guys don't remember, but at the end it kind of wraps it up and shows like what happened to make her dream this.
Yeah.
Or it could be based on Cycly and mine's favorite band. It could be a bad acid trip.
Oh God.
That could be
Best
it too.
band we've ever seen live. Yeah, I think that's a good debate and question to ask. I think I always was on the side of it was a dream until like a few years ago when I realized how many stories revolved around Oz.
Yeah, it's weird because they definitely they go back to the world several times.
Man, look at that.
Imagine being 1939 and seeing this for the first time.
Bro, you'd cum your pants. But like the characters being sort of like allegories to the people she knows in the real world. That's like one of the problems. Yeah. The set design here, like how long did this shit take to build?
Because you can tell like, I mean, obviously the kind of hills and mountains in the background are set, but like everything else, like close up, like it's probably handmade quality shit.
This handmade quality shit right here.
I mean, yeah, like you can't fault them for that. Yeah. Obvious painting. Like this was 60 years before doing on-scene set shoots in New Zealand, right? Like they're not doing that kind of thing back in.
And right now, Michael Bay's masturbating at this elongated crane shot. He's like, oh fuck.
It's like they've got some good extension on that crane.
It almost feels like a drone here.
Yeah, man. It's really like wrapping around this tree.
This all has to be practical. Like there's no way around it.
Yes.
In 1939.
It's impressive.
Definitely getting Willy Wonka vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really bright colors. Fantastical place.
Don't drink that water.
I mean, this looks like almost exactly like the room with the chocolate river. Here are the aforementioned monkeys.
Another fun fact about the Munchkins. Most of these Munchkins were actually, I don't know if most, some of them, at least some of them were actually Jewish and came over from Europe. Mm-hmm. So a lot of them didn't speak
Singer midgets.
Yeah, speak English. And a lot of them tried to stay in America to get out of Germany and Europe at the time of World War II.
Huh. Interesting. I wonder why.
I don't know. I'll have to do some research on it later. I don't know.
Yeah, no one wants to be in Germany in the early 40s. The weather's terrible. Yeah.
Is that the most famous line in cinema? We're not in Kansas anymore.
It's got to be up there.
I mean, that's top
that
5.
I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse.
Yeah, I was going to say, here's looking at you, kid, or something like. I mean, like.
Yeah,
like that has to be up there.
My dick, I'll murder your family from Semi-Pro.
That's in my top 5.
Yeah. Funny story. This is actually almost identical to Nate's pajamas. What the Wicked Witch of the East is wearing.
Yeah, but he pulls it off better, to be honest.
Thank you.
I've said to Nate many times that just doesn't look comfortable, especially the headdress, but he insists on wearing it.
I mean, if you look good, you play good. It doesn't matter if it's comfortable.
Worst part was at my bachelor party when you came out and we had the same thing on. I was like, well, one of us can have to change.
I was like, okay, fine, I'll change this one time because it's your bachelor party. I get it.
Yeah, but then you were mad about it all night, and like
I just pouted in the corner the whole time.
Yeah, I was like,
it really ruined it.
No, yeah, you're not. It's not really doing anyone any favors.
Dorothy, I don't think I've ever noticed how puffy her shoulders are. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, she looks like she could play an NFL game. The Dorothy outfit is definitely a famous Halloween costume as well.
Ooh, iconic, yeah.
Because you can make that pretty sexy if you're a sorority girl.
Mm-hmm. That's the key. Slutty Dorothy.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean this has a lot of iconic lines, a lot of iconic songs. There's just a ton that comes from this movie that's recognizable by so many generations down the road.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this is probably a dumb question, but it's been probably 15 years since I've seen this movie. So the Wicked Witch of the West, who's the evil one, is been smashed by the house, correct?
It's
no
her sister.
So there's 3 witches?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so who's the one right now in the pink?
Glenda, the good witch. And then you have the Wicked Witch of the East and the Wicked Witch of the West.
Okay, so the
Pardon
East
me. I can't remember which one was smashed, but then obviously the other one shows up.
I think the East was. Yeah.
Yeah, because the West is the main bitch. But is Glenda related to them?
I don't think so.
Oh.
But
I thought so because I thought all witches. I mean, yeah. Okay, so Glenda is of the North.
Okay, so
and Wicked Witch of the East died.
Just got smashed.
So is
in
the
a
South
bad way.
ever introduced? We have to have a Witch of the South, right? Maybe a future installment?
Yeah. I'm trying to see if she's related.
So the Wicked Witch of the East who was killed, those are obviously the shoes that Dorothy ends up using to wish herself home, right? So she just steals this dead bitch's shoes?
Yeah, which is pretty fucked up, man.
She wasn't using them.
You really, if you saw a dead body,
do you have an event you need these for? Because you look mostly dead to me.
Okay, so I just Wikipedia this shit. And according to Wikipedia, Glenda, the Good Witch, is the most powerful sorceress in Oz. Which, okay, then this is some bullshit. Why is Glenda making Dorothy do all the work?
You gotta earn it, bro. No handouts in Oz. Imagine being such a heinous bitch that when you die, there's already a song prepared to celebrate you not being around anymore. Like, it's already been written, they know the choreography. Fuck, you suck, man.
They've been wanting this for a long time.
Ding dong, the witch is dead.
It's so hard watching the whole... I'm like, the whole time, I'm like, how bad was it for these people? Like,
God.
Yeah, this is one of those. Yeah, this kind of scene, you just look back and like different times.
And my main thing is, I'm like, thank God Geiger's not on this commentary.
Oh God.
There's some things I already want to say.
Action with that that necklace there, though. Some of these hairstyles have actually come back. I'm getting big Tekashi 6ix9ine vibes from this guy on the left.
I'm getting some big Hunger Game hairstyle vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right though. Like, we can joke, but there is so much influence we're seeing right now.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny going back and like watching these that you haven't seen in a long time, and like seeing the influence. Like, oh shit, that reminds me of this. Well, damn, they probably took it from this. Okay, this all makes sense.
Yeah.
This bro has a certificate of death. Like, he had that ready to go.
Bro, they were just waiting.
Yeah, he was just sitting at the printing press, just ready to print that thing so fast.
I love this guy, the guy in the red with the sword. Like, yeah, he wants to fucking party too, but he has a job to do, okay?
He's the guy. He's like, I would have killed her if I had the chance. Dude, I got a sword. He's like, no, you would not have, Steve.
I swear. I told you, if she didn't give me that overtime pay by Friday, I was gonna fucking do it.
You've been saying this for 3 years.
No, but I was really gonna do it this time because I needed that vacation. You know that. My brother-in-law's bachelor party. We're going to Reno.
A lot of extras.
Yeah, dude. That's why, like, them getting paid nothing. It's like, all right, well, you need all these people. Fucking pay them.
Yeah. Another fun fact tied to the Munchkins and Terry the dog who played Toto. Terry actually almost died on set because a Munchkin stepped on his leg and broke it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Dude, I hate to think of what happened to that Munchkin.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
The highest paid actor in the film got its leg broken.
For real. I wonder if it was done purposely out of jealousy.
I think you're onto something here.
Anna will be treated better than me.
Yeah, Nate, IMDb is copying all your facts. So, hang on. Terry was
that's where I got that from.
Okay, but
I love that
there's
the version, not you taking it from.
These are I'll come clean. They're not all off the top of my head.
You're saying this isn't a live recording and IMDb is updating as we speak?
But this gets more dramatic. All right, so Terry was stepped on by one of the witch's castle guards and had a double for 2 weeks. A second one was obtained, but it resembled Toto more closely. Judy Garland wanted to adopt Terry after they spent so much time together shooting the film. Unfortunately, her owner, Carl Spitz, wouldn't give her up, and she went on to She went on to a long career in films. Did not know that. No, I don't know one of the movies she's in. She died in 1945.
I'm suspicious of the owner. I feel like Terry was abused.
Yeah. I think she lived, she or he, I think it was a she, lived to 11.
Nice.
Oof.
Oh, here we go. We got the main bitch coming in.
God, this still kind of scares me.
Like, dude, this might be a defend your villain episode. Like, her sister was just murdered, and
correct.
Shoes were stolen.
And we're having a fucking parade. Can we at least let the body cool off before we start, like, catering the event?
Dude, look at Glenda. How fucked up is this? She's smiling. She's enjoying all of this.
Oh, Glenda gets off on this. Yeah, she just wants to mourn her sister.
I don't think I've ever realized how fucked up this is.
Ooh. Oh, there's a bad scene cut right there.
Yeah, I didn't realize her motivation here. And you just now this bitch is going to prance around in my dead sister's slippers?
Dude,
those were
how have we
heirloom.
not noticed? Glenda is just fucking shit up.
Okay, and to make things worse, this is the girl who, by all intents and purposes, murdered your sister, now walking around in her clothes, which is weird enough in and of itself.
Dude, I'm so on board for a defense of villains right now.
Damn, Glenda's threatening her too?
Yes.
Yeah, can we get an origin story for the Wicked Witch of the East?
Isn't that Wicked?
Is it?
I think it is.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay.
Because she used to be
IMDb
like,
coming in.
She was like the OG hero. Like, people fucking loved her. She was like a super good guy, and then this shit happens.
Man, it's funny revisiting this film. I'm like, Glenda's a bitch.
Glenda's a certified whore. She's like, dude, first off, Dorothy's so being used. Glenda is just like using her as a tool to fucking get at the Wicked Witch of the West.
So Glenda's all powerful. The most powerful being in Oz.
At least the Munchkins have the respect to, like, stop doing shots when the Wicked Witch of the West shows up. Like, all right, let's wait till she leaves to, like, keep celebrating.
And if Wicked Witch of the West was so evil, why would she have left? She would have fucked around and found out. Like, she left.
It's also Dale's birthday, though, so there's, like, a dual celebration. There's cake.
They've got a sheet cake coming.
Yeah. Dale wanted vanilla.
You have to walk. That's also fucked up. Hey, I could transport you there, but walking high
And these
heels.
new slippers, I don't even know if they're broken in.
Yeah, I don't even have the bunions for these. I gotta say, Glenda is pretty fucking manipulative. And not near hot enough to be barking orders around like this.
She knows what she's doing.
So when I was a kid, I know this is stupid, I wanted to know what happened if she followed the red brick road.
Yeah, no, dude, that would be a cool, like, alternate movie.
Like, what's on the other side?
I do love, I have to say, one of my favorite things about this podcast is, like, the kid Cycly's thoughts on movies. You always thought of things that were like, huh, okay.
Like, let's see what happens.
Who gave Dorothy the bouquet? One of the Munchkins?
Yeah, one of the Munchkins. Yeah.
Okay.
This also frustrates me. Like, you don't have to, like, immediately follow the Olympic road.
You
like,
can see where it's going.
You can see it circles a few times.
You can save time.
Another iconic song here.
I wish you would be like, after like the fifth Munchkin was like, follow the, like, I fucking know. I will follow the Olympic road. You don't need to tell me.
Dude, fucking Toto
again.
thinks all this is for him.
Look at him prancing around.
God. It's basically a funeral. Yeah, this might be the most iconic ditty of ever, really. I feel like babies, if you say, you're off to see the wizard, before they've ever even seen it, they know how to finish the line, you know?
Oh, the Wonderful Wizard of Oz.
I do like how she's skipping. I always find skipping is actually easier on the legs than like walking or running.
And she's like, we can't do this too much longer because there's definitely a wall right in front of me.
Correct.
But it's a Looney Tunes wall.
Think about the propaganda that the Wizard of Oz is dealing here. Like, none of it is about him being like an unjust boss or like having these guys work, 45 hours a week with no overtime pay. He's wonderful. He's the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Pretty sure the Scarecrow was not there a second ago.
Toto's not trying to fuck around with this guy.
That is kind of fucked up that there's a fork in the road and they didn't warn her about that. They're just like, just follow the road. Well, there's 3 different directions now.
Well, as we know from the original Muppet movie, Cycler, when you see a fork in the road, you take it.
Turning left. Did you guys have a favorite side character? Scarecrow, Lion, or Tin Man?
Scarecrow for me.
Yeah, if I had to pick, probably Tin Man. Definitely not Lion. He just really annoyed me.
Yeah.
Although I did like I said, put him up. Obviously, it's a well-known fact the issues like with the makeup that the Tin Man had, getting poisoned with it. Was it lead-based paint that they just put on his fucking face?
This really is a fucked up like film set.
That and then the Scarecrow, like the makeup they put on his face, like left impressions on his face for like a year.
God, I don't think I knew that. So no one made it out of this film like in a positive way, essentially, is what I'm hearing.
It's kind of weird, especially like now, and maybe the narrative has changed a little bit, but that this film, excuse me, is so revered, considering kind of how horrific the production and fallout of it seems to have been. Like, it's hard to find somebody that has a positive thing to say about it.
You got to cut some corners for greatness.
Scarecrow. Bumbling idiot.
What is it about his, because his makeup to me just looks like I'm surprised his makeup like lots of impression considering.
If you like,
the Tin Man makes sense, but
if there's a close up, there's like striations or lines to make it look like his face is burlap. You can't really tell like far away.
No, I see what you're saying though, but like, I don't think I ever put it together. Yeah, okay. I just never thought about his makeup extension compared to like the Tin Man.
Did you eat lead chips as a kid? No, but they put lead paint on my face.
Well, that's weird. This is the first person to actually stuff their bra, was the Scarecrow, if you look at his chest.
He gave a lot of teenage girls some inspiration. Like, wait a second, you can do that?
There's really not a ditty in this movie that hasn't been like transcendent.
No. Yeah, you hear and you're like, even if you haven't thought about it in a long time, it pops up and you're like, it just takes you right back.
And this is impressive because obviously, even if it's based on a book, like the music has to be original, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some of the lyrics were in the book at some of these, but the melodies, I would assume, had to be written.
Yeah, but this is why I believe, like, one of your original facts, like how this is probably the most viewed movie. I mean, like, honestly, who hasn't seen this film? If they're at a certain age, like, especially.
Right.
You can argue there's other iconic movies. Like, I could sit here all day and talk about The Godfather, Shawshank. But, like, yeah, you
don't show that to your 5-year-old, you know?
Yeah, you know there's people who haven't seen those movies, as iconic as they are. Like, everyone's seen this.
If they made this now, you know, just for product placement, the Scarecrow would have on Russell athletic batting gloves. Like, buy these. Or like wide receiver gloves. Look, the grip on these is incredible.
Yeah. I can grab so much straw with these.
Wait a minute. I should get those.
She's grabbing her first companion for the trip here.
What was he up to before
her? Pretty desperate.
Just hanging out.
I mean, he was this miserable by hanging out, but he didn't have the inspiration to do this himself.
He doesn't have a brain.
So, that's true. You're right.
How does he profess that so here's the thing. The first guy you pick up admits, I don't have a fucking brain. First off, you could be the GM for the Washington Commanders. Second off, we're going to
go commies.
We're going to take directions from the guy with no brain. Like, any of the other 3 people would be more qualified to lead you down a path.
But he knows that fork in the road really well. That's really the only thing he knows.
They're going to know one thing, and this is it.
All right, next question. If you could choose to have no brain, no heart, or no courage, which one?
That's a tough one.
I guess I would need to know how widespread the no courage would be. Like, are we to the point where, like, if I haven't tried a new food, I would never try it?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Or, like, you're not going to leave the house ever?
Right. Am I going to basically be like a fucking recluse?
Let's just say you're not looking for conflict. How about that?
I mean, if you're going with that as like, bad as this sounds, I would say no heart.
I think I would too. I'd be a huge asshole, which I guess
I know. Yeah.
So
we all kind of are. So like,
so I would just become a Red Sox fan.
Bingo.
Yeah, I think I'd go no heart too.
Are these when does Lord of the Rings the books come out? When did Tolkien write those?
Yeah, so it's funny that you mentioned that. I was just thinking that. And Tolkien writes Lord of the Rings in the 50s after his experience in the World Wars. And I was actually thinking about like the influence this might have had on the Ents and the tree creatures.
Because he was like, what if I take some of the fantasy ideas, but I don't think it's a fucking joke?
But it's the funny thing.
At face value, it's what is Lord of the Rings about? It's about a journey. And that's basically what they're doing here. My
defense of everything is like Family Guy did it best when they made fun of Simpsons did it, or South Park, sorry. You know what? Everyone's done something. And so Lord of the Rings fanatics will be like, oh, Star Wars and Harry Potter ripped off Lord of the Rings. Like, dude, they've all influenced from each other. And you can take Lord of the Rings back to Wizard of Oz or Iliad or whatever. Just go back forever. Human stories. And you can't just judge things based off that.
Yeah, if you're going to go to any movie, TV show, book, and look to find something that wasn't even inspired or in some way derivative of something, it's not going to happen, bro.
Yeah. You know how many times we've seen the orphan story? Is it brand new? No, but it works for a reason, and you don't have to criticize it.
Okay, so the guy who plays Tin Man, I'm trying to find his name. Is it Jack Haley? Because on IMDb it only has their names when they're in Kansas, and he's Hickory. But I'm getting, especially with this makeup, obviously the color's different, but I'm getting serious Ivan Ooze from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers vibes.
I see it.
One thing, too, you have to point out, the aesthetic in terms of, like, the difference in colors between Lion, Scarecrow, and Tin Man really plays well. Like, when they're all standing next to each other, it looks really good.
Yeah, I think they did a good job with that. And, like, it's mainly, like, natural colors. Like, Tin Man's just kind of gray, silver, and then you got Scarecrow with the green, and then Cowardly Lion with, like, a yellowish color. Obviously, he's cowardly, so...
this whole routine is what Tom Brady now has to do before he plays.
Just got to oil the joints up a little bit.
Oil me up a little bit, guys. There's a series of 4. What's that bird doing in the background? Chill out.
I don't think I've never noticed that bird before. But this is the origination of the robot dance, so another credit to
Is it really?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Why not?
That's I can't think of the name, but that's the thing on his head. I just realized it's just the thing you like pour oil in your car with.
Yeah, funnel.
Funnel, funnel. Yeah.
Dude, I'm just like, again, it's so hard to watch this movie now. All I'm thinking is like that poor guy, that paint on his face.
Nate, did he die from that paint?
I don't know if he died from it.
But I know he was poisoned, right?
Yeah. I
Dude,
mean,
your skin has to breathe. That's bad.
Committed. I could see him in the chair and like 30 minutes into his makeup. He's like, so what the fuck is this again? It says lead-based debaser.
Lead. That's good.
We've already put like half of a gallon on me. Yeah, should be fine.
It's the same stuff we painted the set with. It's okay.
Reeks. Smells like a seal's anus, but we're committed.
You gotta stick to a budget here, guys.
You know, I haven't realized until this rewatch, but Dorothy, like, especially after the first 15 minutes, surprisingly little dialogue, at least right now.
Yeah, it's starting to be dominated by the tertiary characters.
You're telling me this wasn't the start of the robot dance? Like, I mean, look at this.
I would never argue it wasn't. And actually, like in Eurotrip and Cycling, obviously as we saw it in Europe, the guys who paint themselves and do the robot dance clearly are designed to look like the Tin Man.
Yeah, you're actually true. That's another influence.
He's just stomping the yard right here. A bunch of girls come out and start twerking on him. I bet there's YouTube videos of him dancing with like different music, like Buddha, 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 rocking everywhere.
It's like that Doug Funny. They did that with him.
How do they do this?
They must have like nailed his shoes down or something.
Toto's digging it, bro. He's like, what's the deal?
It's funny to watch the dog because he looks for instructions. If you notice, he keeps like the dog looks to the side.
Like looking not where the focal point is, but offset.
Line. Oh, you want me to bark? Okay.
It's just you barking. That's all your lines are, Toto. Well, tell me the fucking line. I like to improv a little bit. Maybe a growl or like a yip.
Yeah,
in my head, I always feel like the Scarecrow and Lion and Tin Man knew each other. But is that canon? Do they know each other?
I'm sure they're from. I mean, they're like a 5-minute walk from each other, right? How could they not?
Yeah. Oh, I've never read the books. So.
For a beehive? Do you know what I am? She can shoot fireballs? Holy fuck.
This is the first time we're seeing her being like, what, quote unquote, evil. She hasn't done anything bad yet.
After she's been provoked.
Yes.
I don't know, man. This might be one of our stronger defend a villain cases of all time. This bitch is still wearing her not even 2 hours dead sister's shoes.
It's just some fucked up shit.
Oh my god. She might not even be legally pronounced dead. I know they got the death certificate, but like,
yeah,
that thing
who
clearly
is
was
he?
printed. That thing was printed way before the events of today.
Yeah. The Munchkins are not a good source.
I just want the slippers back. I think I can get $100 off of them on Facebook Marketplace, please.
I already have an interested buyer on Etsy.
$100 in 1939 is like an unbelievable amount of money.
More than Toto
of course.
made. Well, that's almost what Toto made for a week's work.
Yeah. Started getting a little rust on him there on the face.
Yeah, we need to oxidize.
Yeah, that's new. That's actually a skin condition right there. That's that's not even.
That wasn't part of the movie.
I actually had a stripper last week. It was my cousin Randy's bachelor party in Vegas, and she sat on my face. And that's what this is from.
I'm impressed that they know each other's dance routines. Like, that's awesome.
They get together once a week, and that's typically what the topic of discussion is.
How are we going to walk?
Right.
There's that crazy bird again.
See, again, these have to all be like, I guess you could kind of redress the set, but like, it's a lot of work to change these. Like, this one looks totally different than the last one.
Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my.
Oh my.
What another classic line.
I know. It's insane.
They haven't said it yet, but.
But to your point, Jeff, like, you know, we're talking about movie studios back then. Like, this is all they probably had all year. You know, like, now, you know, you have 1,000 things going on sets. Like, the amount of work that was, like, the production company, I'm sure this was, like, the only thing they had. It's wild to, you know, it was all in.
Because were movies even, like, a big money-making thing? Like, would people go to the theaters?
Well, yeah, so Gone with the Wind, I believe, is untouchable in terms of, if you go by inflation, the most profitable film of all time. Obviously, it's not billions of dollars like the Avengers movies or whatever, but it's like, but per capita, it's the most sold tickets. But there was nothing else that was a thing. Like, you know, we have the internet now, we have streaming, we have. But back then, that was all you had to do. It was like that one movie that came out for the 6-month period, and everyone went to see it.
So whether it was good or bad, you pretty much was like an event.
Like, I think that's why, like, if you look, I think it's Gone with the Wind. It's like, it's almost impossible for it to be touched.
Which is crazy because it's not like literally 3 hours, 40 minutes or something insane.
And it's so, I appreciate old films, and when Nate comes back, I know he does too, but like, you and I have talked about this. Like, there's old films that like this movie, whether you like it or not, you can see why it's iconic.
It was just something, I mean, this shit's mind-blowing. Like, you did not see stuff like this.
No.
Ever.
Gone with the Wind, I'm like, really?
I could honestly see this movie being like a hard sell. Like, what do you want us to build?
It would almost freak people out, too, especially think about how people were back then.
Trying to figure out which of these guys' costumes probably took the longest, because the Lions looks like a fucking chore.
I'm with you. I think it would be the Tin Man or the Lion. I mean, Scarecrow's face, but everything else is covered. Kind of like the Tin Man, though.
This guy has like a really bad like spray tan. It's like, fuck, we're going to Cabo next week for a 30th wedding anniversary, and I overdid it.
It's like, and he meets the family, like he's been looking forward to meeting his girlfriend's family. He's like, this is awkward.
He's like, I don't normally look like this. I wanted to impress you. I'll put all the cards out on the table. Tin Man having an axe. So what's his actual job? Is he supposed to like chop wood? Or is he like, is that just like a piece of protection?
Yeah, you're right, because we obviously know one's a lion and one's a scarecrow. They have functional purposes.
Correct. Tin Man is like
what is a Tin Man?
Some weird like steampunk alpha.
Yeah, he was like a lumberjack or something, and he got rusted when it started raining one time in the woods, and that's how he became stranded out there.
Was he a humanoid lumberjack, or what made him get rusted?
He's made of metal.
But why? Like,
I don't know his backstory.
Is that his?
I just know that
just like more like.
I'm pretty sure that's explained. Obviously, we were talking over, but I'm pretty sure that part is like explained. He was like he got caught out in the rain and rusted, and that's how he got stuck.
That makes sense. I just like, I understand what a functional scarecrow is in society or what a lion is in society, but what is a Tin Man? What is a man made of metal who cuts trees?
Well, this is the land of Oz, the land of make believe. So
that is true. That is true. Is that the motto? Land of make believe? No, I'm asking genuinely. I don't know. Was it?
Oh, I don't think so. I just said that. Yeah.
I liked it. It's believable. You should have just said yeah. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, of course. That's exactly what the motto is. We're a ways out from this, but the poppy field scene in this, whenever it's snowing or whatever, that was actually asbestos that was used in there.
Are you fucking kidding? Right, I think we're about to see it soon.
Yeah.
My God, like everything that comes out about this movie is really.
Oh yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. Like what all was done on the set.
What do you think? Okay, I think you were in here. Oh shoot, I forgot. I was about to ask you. When Jeff comes back, we'll remember. There was something we were going to ask you when you left. But the monkey, we get our first monkey view. I agree with Horns. Like this was creepy to me. I was scared of.
I mean, yeah, there was a ton of creepy stuff in this. I mean, yeah, the witch in and of herself. The monkeys were creepy. There's some pretty frightening scenes in it, just in general.
I know this sounds really stupid, but I also used to find hourglasses creepy because of this film when I was little. Like, it's just funny when you don't realize that as a kid. Now you're seeing it for the first time. I'm like, wait a second. That's why I always was like, hey, Jeff, what was it we were wanting to ask Nate when he went to the bathroom? Do you remember?
Oh, was it whose costume took the most? He just left again.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you
what was it?
Or this is kind of to your... So, Nate, do you know, or did you read at any point, who of the three, Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Lion, whose costume took the most time to put on?
I don't. I would imagine probably Lion or Scarecrow. Like Tin Man is, I mean, it's mainly just metal or tin around him.
After you paint and poison his face, you just kind of slip.
Paint his face. But then, like, Caroline Lion obviously has, like, prosthetics on, so.
Right.
So that would probably take the most time, I would imagine.
We're already at the Wizard of Oz. That's interesting.
Yeah, but they don't get to stay there long.
There's a sports book there and a couple sports bars, so they're like, let's hurry up because there's a game tipping off in about 15 minutes. I think we can at least get in on the over-under.
Like, you don't need to run. I'd be like, can we just...
Can you imagine having a pollen allergy right now? Oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah, tell your fun fact to Jeff.
Oh, in this scene coming up, what's going to be falling from the sky here, they actually used asbestos.
Of course.
I literally told him, I go,
Jesus Christ.
Every fact that comes out of the movie is, like, worse than the next one. You're like, Jesus.
They were actually baby arms that had been chopped off.
And ground up.
Is he crying blood?
Oil.
Or is that oil?
Yeah, oil. Why?
Cycly, I'm definitely getting Midsummer vibes here. Like when they take the shrooms.
The May Queen.
Yeah. May Queen and that scene in the end of the first act, start of the second, where they take the shrooms in that like valley.
Oh my God! And, like the flowers are moving.
Yeah. This has got to be, first off, Lion's like, let me do some tabletop crunches real quick.
He's working on his core at least, yeah.
That actually is a fucking core workout, what he's doing. Oh, Glenda, this bitch showed back up. His bestest.
Right, here comes
like, here's the other thing. Can you not just get like fucking cotton? Like, why do we have to get something dangerous?
They didn't know or care to find out.
Yeah, they just didn't give a fuck.
The unions weren't strong back then, guys. Good for the Lion keeping that pose.
I was going to say, he's going to have a six-pack by the morning. Glad his yawn got some asbestos in his mouth.
I was just thinking, I was like, I'm watching them have their mouths open. I'm like, oh, God.
And no wonder Terry only lived to 11.
Yeah, seriously. I was like, small dogs should live a little longer.
Asbestos baths. Definite Rita Repulsa inspiration here, Cycly, as well.
God. And look at his hair on this monkey.
The guy with fucking Goldar looks like the monkey.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but...
I just don't know why this monkey has that kind of hair.
It's called fashion, honey. You guys were, I think, mentioning this when I had left to use the restroom, but even as an adult, like 29 years later, the Wicked Witch, I think because it's like, it's Pavlovian, like seeing her triggers like fear in me. I'm still not like, I can't really look at her and I don't like laugh. Like, she looks so fucking stupid. I still am like getting kind of uneasy when she's on screen.
You were in the bathroom. I said that. I was like seeing this scene, seeing the hourglass. I remember as a kid, hourglasses being just creepy for some reason. Like, no reason for it. Like, they just kind of weirded me out. And now I'm watching, I'm like, that's probably why.
Yeah, there's a certain mystic to them.
Yeah.
I might hesitate to show this movie to my kids because this, I think, did kind of fuck me up more than I realized.
Thanks,
you have a
Mom.
lot bigger problems, dude.
They definitely stole this from Rookie of the Year. Am I right?
100%.
I always felt like the people of Oz were dicks for no reason.
I mean, like, what if they're with DoorDash? Like, you ordered food. Oh, how convenient.
Yeah. Some more kind of vibes related back to Hunger Games. Like, Oz is like the capital in Hunger Games. Kind of getting that vibe.
Getting, who's the green alien in the Flintstones? What's his name?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Kazoo? Let me look it up.
That sounds about right.
Serious vibes here as well. A lot of things, I don't want to say ripped off, because like,
no,
you know, there's only
it inspired other things.
It is impossible to get something purely
the Great Gazoo.
And you get that a ton of music too. Like, oh, I ripped this off. Well, there's only a certain amount of notes you can use, so.
Correct. All right, so sort of a quick aside, but this sort of leads into like things inspiring other ideas and how we like remember them. Do you guys know the name? There's a certain name for like when your brain remembers something an incorrect way, like the Berenstain Bears, you know?
Yeah.
Do you know the name for that? I'm not quizzing you. Like, I actually don't remember it.
It's like some effect, something effect.
Is it Mandela Effect? Is that what it is?
Yes, the Mandela Effect. That's it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, so
nice job.
At work, and for those who don't know at home, I work at a school. Our staff did a little quiz over like some common Mandela Effect misconceptions, and one of them was the Flintstones. So without Googling it, because I got this wrong, but do you guys think it's the Flintstones or the Flintstones?
The Flintstones.
See, so my philosophy when I'm doing the Mandela Effect is do the one I just don't remember, and I would go with the Flintstones as well.
Okay, it is the Flintstones, which is
Wow.
of course a rock. But I, in my head, thought it was the Flintstones.
I would too, yeah.
And now you'll probably get this one, but this is the last one I'll do. In Space Jam, or even just the actual characters, the Looney Tunes. How do you spell tunes, each of you guys?
Oh, I know this one. I've seen it. I'm going to say, okay.
TUNES.
Okay. What do you think, Cycly?
I'm pretty sure he's right.
Which doesn't make sense, right? That's tune
right.
like a music note. And they're cartoons. So it should be TOONS. Got that one wrong, too.
Yep.
I didn't know that one. I just went opposite on that one. Flintstones.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I knew it was Flint because Fred
works
works in a rock quarry.
Mm-hmm.
Does Monopoly Man have a monocle?
No.
Does he not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does not.
Oh, wow.
I want to go. I'll ask the teacher to send me the quiz because it was pretty mind blowing.
There's a lot. If you look it up, it's There's a lot of examples out there, and it's kind of crazy because it's easy to go the opposite because that's why it's being asked, but you're only doing it to get it right.
Some are really counterintuitive, like the Looney Tunes one makes no sense. They're literal cartoons that should be TOONS. That behind them, that's the Oz rugby team. They actually play the New Zealand All Blacks in 2 days, so they're going to get fucking crushed.
They're going to get their ass kicked.
They're going to get destroyed, yeah. Our friend.
Last one really quickly, I just want to say, because we're such Star Wars fans on here, and I remember as a kid being so excited to see Empire for the first time, I always thought the line was, Luke,
oh yeah,
I am your father. But to this day, that's how people say it. But it's like, no, I am your father, Luke. No, I am your father. It's like,
what's she spelling?
Surrender.
Surrender.
Oh. She should have put the little dash on the side. Here's the thing. If you're going to skywrite, let's make it something we can fit in one line.
It's like a whole paragraph. There's a little ellipsis involved. You're like, my God, no one has this time.
Another fun fact about the horse we saw a minute ago.
Oh God, was he poisoned with the purple paint?
No, he actually may have had the best treatment. The horse of different colors. He was colored with Kool-Aid.
Oh, there you go.
That's nice.
So that's what almost makes it seem malicious then with everyone else, because they were like, yeah, we have some dye that.
Wait, let Nate finish. He's like, Kool-Aid, sulfuric Kool-Aid. You're like, oh, good.
Which I knew that before, and that I didn't know the second part until I read it today. But in between takes, they had to shoot really fast because the horse would start licking it off himself.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, he's like, fuck yeah. I don't know why I think this is so funny, and maybe this is the case for all animals in movies. But Terry, who of course played Toto, is on the IMDb cast list.
Oh yeah, as he
has a picture of the dog.
Do we have it? Was he in other film? Was he in anything that people know?
I want to click him and it says he has 10 producing credits. I'll be like, wait, what the fuck?
Right, writer credit. You're like, what?
Wrote two episodes of Law and Order Special Victims Unit. The tail with Lion, how does that work?
They must have it on a string the whole time.
Yeah, it almost looks like animatronic, but we know it's not. Now here's a tough question, although this might have even been before they knew homosexuality was a thing, but the lion obviously is homosexual. But is he supposed to be portrayed, was there any controversy around this portrayal? Or did they not even realize, people can be gay?
Yeah, I think it's the latter. I don't think that was even on anyone's mind.
That's a good question. It's quite the bow he has in his hair.
I will say this is probably one of the worst songs in the movie. Not one of my favorites.
So looking at his facial makeup, it's clearly has part of it's a mask. So I'm starting to think maybe Scarecrow or Tin Man might take the longest because his whole body's a costume. Look at his cheeks. That's clearly put on. So you got to put makeup on the chin and nose and eyes.
You got to blend the mask in.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's all over his face.
No, you're right. I'm just thinking it's not as intensive as it looks.
Yeah. It kind of looks like a bulldog.
Yeah, a little bit.
In the face, at least.
Is Jordy not sick of skipping at this point? She's like, my God, I've been skipping for 1,000 miles.
Yeah, her Fitbit is going to be she's going to be setting some records here. I never noticed that. That's pretty interesting with the axe to produce the crown here.
Yeah, with the flower pot.
He looks like he just won the Kentucky Derby.
It's very
really
good
appeasing him.
Very good impromptu work by all them.
Why are they going so above and beyond for the Cowardly Lion right now?
Trying to gas him up, bro. See what he'll do. Tin Man he wants to be head of security, which, again, it's one of those guys, maybe you shouldn't get into law enforcement if you just want to beat the shit out of people. You don't have the best intentions.
What makes a king out of a slave is courage.
Courage?
Is that really the only difference?
Yeah, is that like the one factor that maybe a little bit of circumstance has to do with it?
Just give it to him. He needs this. He needs this win.
I don't
What
think any
makes
of
the
these...
Sphinx the
none of
seventh
these are
wonder?
correct.
I never thought
Courage?
none of this makes any sense.
Sphinx just sits there, bro. What's courageous about that?
What puts the ape in apricot?
That one makes sense, yeah. I'm with you
Well,
on
of
that.
course.
Is
What's
that
your
a
pick?
man? Looked like he had one of those staffs from the Tuscan Raiders. And he just put some
Which you can
flowers on.
only get by killing a Tuscan Raider, as we know.
Same universe. This is
Mhm.
canon.
Easily.
I see it. We don't know what planet. There's so many planets in Star Wars.
He looks like Attila the Hun.
Yeah, he was doing a biopic at the same time.
So
he
this
needs
is Doubtfire situation. He forgot to change his makeup over.
a bit over the top with the crying.
We all feel emotion differently.
What's the Brendan Fraser movie with the devil?
Bedazzled.
Oh, bedazzled, yeah.
Yeah, whenever he's the basketball player and they're just like pouring the sweat down his face.
Yeah. Or like an airplane when he's trying to land the plane.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that's a better example.
They're very emotional people at Oz.
I like how they're not afraid to show it, you know?
Yeah.
How many times do you think Terry, a.k.a. Toto, shit on this set?
And made the Munchkins clean it up.
Yeah, definitely over 20.
I really don't want to see the wizard this much. I wish he'd be like, I double parked.
Why is the Tin Man and Scarecrow so scared?
It's a scary situation.
Shit's getting real. They come over the intercom. If you drive a white Kia Sedona, your lights are on. Oh,
that's fine.
Yeah, that's me. Go. Yeah.
You had a car this whole time and we walked?
I'm
They
low on
skipped.
gas, okay?
Oh shit, you're right, they skipped. Okay.
Yeah. It saves so much time and effort.
Big fucking difference. Oh shit.
I don't think I realized how long this whole segment takes. It slows down a lot here.
Like at Oz?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So, this has probably been said, but do they believe Oz to be a benevolent king? Or are they obviously the fire now is showing they're supposed to be afraid of him, but were they under the impression that he was cruel before they got here?
I don't think they thought he was cruel. I think he's just all powerful. Right, Nate?
Yeah. Anyone who's omnipotent is kind of scary.
That's true. Squidward definitely based on Oz.
Yeah, it's same head shape.
Again, looking at Toto, clearly wagging his tail, having the best.
He's waiting for that treat.
Yeah, Terry's not having it right now. This isn't acting.
But whoever's the intern who's in charge of the fire and smoke, Oz is like, Jesus Christ, dude, chill for 1 second. We're gonna blow through our month's budget.
Yeah, if we have to do a retake on this, we're not going to have any left over.
It just looks like a European soccer game.
Yeah.
Flares and smoke.
Looks like someone for the Anaheim Angels just hit a 3-run home run.
I like the directors here is guys, I need you all to look scared. And how you're going to do it is just shiver
Shake
up and down.
a lot.
Yeah, very physical.
It's the only way we can show fear.
What's effrontery?
He's thrown out some very large words.
It's like, look, sir, you might be trying to insult me, but I don't know what the fuck any of that means, so it's hard for me to be offended.
You do realize you just said I don't have a brain. Now you're trying to throw out these big-ass words on me?
It doesn't make sense. I thought line did the sign of the cross for a second.
There you go, Dorothy. Get him.
I like, Judy here. Like, give him a lesson.
Wow, whippersnapper. I didn't know that was derogatory. I thought it just meant like youth.
It all depends on
what is a whippersnapper? Yeah.
If you don't know, then you are one.
Fuck.
I understand when it's used and what it's used for, but I definitely do not know the origin of it.
If you need to ask, you'll never know. If you know, you'll need not ask.
Bring me. Oh, damn, we got a killer. According to the Oxford Language Dictionary, a whippersnapper is a young and inexperienced person considered to be presumptuous or overconfident.
Okay.
Whippersnapper. I'm trying to break it down and see if I can figure it out, but I got nothing.
The snapper, I get.
The term is derived from the terms
Sorry, did you guys see that?
Oh, the lion jumped through the window.
He just jumps out the window. Like, he's such a pussy, like, but he jumps out a window.
Yeah, he's too scared to hang around, but he's not scared enough to, like, risk death and getting cut by the glass.
Like, you were 45 stories up, bro.
And if you dive roll, it's fine. It's
You
like
remember that elevator we took up, right?
Who wrote this sign? Also,
where did we get this fucking net?
So many questions. They just skipped ahead. They spent 40 minutes at Oz doing nothing, and all of a sudden we're fast forward.
Definite deleted scene.
They had like a gift shop before they left, so they stocked up.
Who would write on a sign, "I'd turn back if I were you"?
The Scarecrow have a gun?
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah, and they got some souvenir shot glasses as well.
Tin Man has a fucking wrench.
This is pretty funny.
I'm not gonna lie.
What is the? Is that like
that wrench does anything?
Is that a manual air pump? What is that they have?
I think it's like something that like sprays like gas. I think.
Dude, cycling just made this connection. Tin Man definitely might have been an inspiration for Arnold's Mr. Freeze.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking of Javier Bardem's character in No Country for Old Men.
What's the most you've ever lost in a coin toss?
Shigor.
Flip it.
He's great. Real quick, this actually makes sense. So I found the derivation of whippersnapper. So it is a 7th century term for a young man with nothing better to do than to hang about idly snapping a whip.
7th century. Wow.
I feel like I would be considered a whippersnapper back then.
And that's insane that it hung around until like the mid 1900s.
Yeah, because nothing else really has. This, of course, referenced in the Avengers, which is great.
I was going to say another iconic movie line of all time.
See, this shit still is kind of like eliciting. Yeah. I just peed myself slightly.
Dude, we're talking about, we're at what, 85 years almost. It's impressive. Like, it honestly doesn't, like, if you didn't tell me this was 1939, you're like, hey, watch this movie and tell me how old it is, I'd probably say 50s, 60s, to be honest with you.
The Scarecrow's getting fucking worked.
Yeah, and like legitimately, like any of these shots, like when everyone's on the ground, like, I mean, it doesn't look that bad.
No, this is great.
I've seen plenty of movies in the 40s and 50s that look the part.
Now, I haven't seen this, and this is more recent, and you guys can attest to this. What about the Velocipaster? How are we looking on production for that?
Well, nothing. I mean, it's like there's nothing to compare to. Like,
that's in a league of its own.
The greatest film of all time, and then
I mean, it's really not fair to. That's like comparing like a piece of work your child did to the Sistine Chapel.
Yeah. Oh, the Mona Lisa. Oh, hey, Mom, I put my hand on paint and put it on a piece of paper. Like, what are we talking about here?
So, Nate, you'll like this. Friend of the pod, writer, director of the Velocipaster, Brendan Steer, actually said that the costume they used in the movie was one that him and his brother stole from their high school theater department.
And if you haven't seen the
I think I remember that. Yeah, when you guys interviewed him, that's awesome.
And the best part is it's actually a Tyrannosaurus Rex costume. It's not even a raptor. Oh, that's great. Holy shit.
Another awesome effect.
Hands off,
She just her fucking sister's shoes back.
Yeah, she's not asking for anything, like, absurd.
God, if you didn't steal those in front of her, literally none of this would have happened.
See, I don't understand this. She's like, how do I kill you? It needs to be done delicately. Like, just shoot her in the face. I don't understand the problem.
Yeah, where's Scarecrow? He had a gun.
Yeah.
Toto, do it.
God, imagine what it would have looked like if he tried to fire that thing. Dude, Toto's a beast.
These
Have you guys
guys
ever
are
thrown
terrible.
a spear before? That one landed sideways. It's like, how did you throw this?
Wait, you're a witch. Just kill her. Avada Kedavra. It's not hard.
Avada Kedavra.
Yeah, maybe this is why we hate hourglasses. Like, this is fucking creepy.
I'm telling you, like, as a kid, it was creepy to me.
Yeah, like, hourglasses never have, like, a good connotation to them in movie and film.
No, you're right. That's a great point.
Or even in real life, it's like, okay, we're playing a game and we only have this much time to get
it's pressure.
7 charades.
Damn it, I have this much time to impress my friends and make them like me.
That's such a good point. No, really, like,
Time's up, no one likes you.
We relate pressure with an hourglass.
Yeah.
It's true.
Just, anxiety just automatically kicks in once you see that.
How interesting. We're really getting deep on this, guys.
This is good.
Dorothy, like, Judy Garland actually is crushing it right here. I didn't know The Witch had won a Grammy Award. Look at that in the background.
Oh, good for her.
The one no one wants. That
she was
like more of a Golden Globe.
Oh, yeah, that's true. One of those. It's a Saturn Award. What the fuck is that? I display it prominently. I'm proud of it.
I remember this creeping me out when I was a kid.
Oh, fuck yeah. Fuck this. Yeah, it's all too much. We got the flying monkeys. She's stuck in the palace. The witch is going insane. Toto, I mean, how can he
Toto could fucking climb Mount Everest if he wanted to.
This is why you pay the big bucks, guys. Like,
mountaineering genius.
We make fun, but he made good time, too, by the way. Like, they're still recovering from the abduction. And Toto was at the castle and down.
I think Toto did not need to get racial there, though. You know, the things he was saying. Jesus.
It's 1939, man.
How do you get him to do this? It's insane.
I mean, that climbing is legit good. For Toto, the Tin Man is kind of fucking up.
Tin Man has no excuses.
The fact that we think the lion is so good at climbing that we'll just hang on to his tail is a little ridiculous.
That shot right there was, like, pretty bad.
The lion's ass looked like a square. It was like boxy. Yes. They had something, like, in there, like, for support.
This is a pretty legit castle.
Yeah, it rivals Hogwarts.
It's up there. God, imagine depending on these 3 motherfuckers to come save you. Like,
oh, we loathe the old one.
Is that Family Guy?
What?
Who does the mockery of this?
Maybe.
Oh, I'm sure.
I was just singing the actual line that they do.
I'm pretty sure it's Family Guy. They do that. Maybe it's O.G. Simpson's.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of good ones out there.
Yeah, but that's, again, it goes back to what we've been saying this whole time, how influential this movie is on references that we're still dealing with today.
And, like, even, like, something as simple as this, like, this scene right here of them, like, at a distance looking over, like, a ridge or, like, a mountaintop. Like, you see that all over the place now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure they were the first ones to do it. Yeah, I'm not sure they were the first ones.
Close, right?
But,
what do they do here that we see all the time in every movie ever? They kidnap
and take the costumes of 3 of the
Princess Bride. See this one when they're trying to go in the castle and
you do this all the time. Austin Powers does this. Everyone does this.
These spheres, my God, do we need all that design? Think about how long these things take to make.
Like Lord of the Rings does this.
Yeah, must be pretty high up in the order.
This is a trope that has been stolen a billion times.
I love the things being thrown in the air.
I thought it was Toto being thrown in the air, but it's one of their hats. Yeah. I see that now.
A lot of the costumes in this, and pretty much everyone at Oz, definitely inspired by Russian winter attire or Russian attire 12 months out of the year.
Yeah, getting some serious Soviet vibes here.
We should go as these 3 guys for Halloween.
Yeah, I'm down.
I already have names? The spear. Chris, I know, is one of them.
I just like to be really authentic, so.
I did as a kid think it was hilarious, he's trying to hide his own tail. Aren't you in control
What's Toto's
of
plan?
Has a mind of its own.
Yeah, it's on your body. Maybe it's the equivalent of when we would be 14 and get boners that we couldn't control or didn't know why.
Slapping it away.
It's what the fuck? I'm in science class. Why do I have an erection?
Can you come up to the board?
Impossible. Have you guys noticed all movie? He can't really walk because his legs are made of straw, and they keep holding him up. And suddenly now he's sprinting upstairs.
He's learning.
It's the fourth quarter, man. No one's 100% healthy.
That is true.
So what happens when that hourglass runs out?
It's funny. As a kid, I used to think she automatically just died.
Or maybe the witch is she has a lasagna in the oven and...
Yeah, I think the witch just comes back.
So when that's up, we got to eat it.
Yeah, it's completely irrelevant.
I'm actually impressed.
Dorothy.
Tin Man was fucking working that axe, bro.
I don't know why, but Judy Garland, I feel would be Zooey Deschanel right now.
100%. By the way, have you seen Zooey Deschanel in the March Madness AT&T commercials?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
God, he looks bad, man. Why does she have that plastic surgery?
Doesn't look like herself.
She looks like this monkey to the left.
That's insulting to the monkey.
I know.
The monkey's what the fuck, bro?
Yeah. Is that her right-hand monkey? He's the one she's grooming for her. She's look, I don't want to do this job forever. I'd like to move to corporate at some point.
Oh, and look at Scarecrow using this.
Wow, this had to be one of the first chandelier drops, right?
Mm-hmm. And why would why would the hourglass just explode on?
Those shoes are popping.
I think they just ran in a big circle, basically.
Where are the shoes? I believe I've seen them in person. I know they're in a museum.
I feel back in the day, maybe in the late 90s, the Smithsonian was doing its thing where it would travel around the United States. And I feel I went to Kansas City and saw them. But yeah,
I think you're right.
So your point, they're somewhere in a museum or something. I feel I saw those. I also saw Abraham Lincoln.
They are in the Smithsonian. They are.
Oh.
Yep.
Abraham Lincoln's
I think I've seen.
What's up? His hat.
Oh. That's cool.
I like his ass more, though.
I gotta say, these guys working for the witch, they're good at their job.
They're efficient.
Do we ever know, obviously, iconic death scene here, but even as a kid, this is the definition of Deus Machina, where it's whatever the writer decides, doesn't have to be factual basis for it. Why does water hurt? Do we know? Or is it like I said, is the writer is God and can decide whatever? Here we go.
And if you are witch, having a pail of water.
It would be one thing if earlier in the film, we had heard oh yeah, water is, basically acid to witches or whatever. Like, but there's nothing about like why water would do this to the witch.
And you know what's weird? I haven't even really seen that played out in like future depictions of witches.
Yeah, so like is it something in a book? Like I just have absolutely no idea why that's how she goes down.
And I'm assuming she takes dry showers, like just with deodorant and some dry shampoo.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure dry shampoo was a thing back then, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. These guys have just no loyalty at all.
Yeah, it'll switch at a moment's notice.
It's like the Santa Claus, like old Santa dies and now she's just fucking on top. And here's the tiki torch. Now you can host Survivor.
I'm glad they just did a cut scene back to Oz so we didn't have to go through any more walking.
Yeah, whatever happened to the gun?
Yeah,
Scarecrow had wanted nothing to do with that.
We could have ended this a lot quicker.
Honestly, with the weapons that they fucking somehow got, they could have just taken Oz out.
Yeah, just take over the whole kingdom. These people are so like subjective. Like they want to be submissive to whoever takes control. They're like, oh, you killed her? All right, cool. You're in charge.
They really don't want to make their own decisions. They, as Loki says in the Avengers, they crave subjugation.
Yep.
All right, here we go, Toto. Do your thing.
Like, I've had enough of this bullshit.
It's like I'm going to pull the curtain back on this, literally.
Genius move.
I think they just have, like, the curtain, like, tied to his collar. It's not like he, like, bit it or anything.
They, like, threw, like, some fucking sausages out in front of him.
Okay, so...
It's just poorly designed. You don't put the projection booth, like, right there.
Like they hadn't noticed that curtain before.
So I just want you guys to know, I looked up why water impacted the witch.
Impacted?
And
I guess killed her.
Well, yeah, I guess
that's a subtle way of putting it.
It affected her, okay? I didn't say to which degree. Turns out that her wickedness had dried her body and her soul. And there's references in, I guess, the book that, like, Toto had bitten her and, like, no blood or anything came out. And, yeah, so her wickedness had dried up all long ago. And so the water made her the evil burn, I guess. So there you go.
Now I kind of want to read the book.
They do. Toto, I think at the beginning of the movie they said bit her analogous character in the real world. Which kind of makes her, the villain.
Yeah, that's why she came over in the first place.
These are diplomas from DeVry University.
Grand Canyon School Online.
University of Phoenix. Oh, thank you.
So that is a famous line in The Simpsons. Yes. Homer finds glasses in the bathroom, and he says that exact line when he says a right triangle instead of isosceles, and someone's in the bathroom, and the stall is like, said isosceles triangle, you idiot.
So Oz was, if they didn't catch him, he was just going to be a fucking asshole the whole time?
Yes, it's so much bullshit.
But now he's acting like such a nice guy. It's like flipped a switch.
C. Riley.
This metal will fix everything.
I mean, he was just holding all this out to be a dick.
I'm pretty sure he just like pins it right on his skin.
Yeah, do you mind if I stab this into your chest? Your pectoral should hold this pin perfectly.
You just need to get stabbed by this to get some courage. Like, what was the idea behind
Man 2, Senator Stearns is
them having like the tail so active?
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. I don't know if it's animatronics or what. It's not, but I don't know if it is, you know?
Like, is that in the book, or is that just like something the director, writers are like, we've got to have his tail going batshit crazy at all times?
It's probably effect, yeah, like for the audience.
They have some good, like they use it comedically pretty well a few times.
Yeah.
All right, now Oz obviously has like, those are prosthetic things on his cheeks, right? Or they find a dude and then punch him in the face 15 times and then.
And his chin. Like.
Yeah.
It's almost like, Joker-esque.
Yeah, it's like almost where you could write it off and be like, no, that's his face. But it's like borderline. But yeah, the chin definitely you can tell like really protrudes. It's like fucking Jay Leno.
It was basically like if you were gonna be in this movie, we had to do some sort of like permanent damage to your face or body, even if it wasn't necessitated by your character script.
What I love about this scene is this guy has just given a fake piece of paper to Scarecrow, a clock to Tin Man, and it just attached a fake ass badge to the Lion. I'm like, these are the kind of people you work with. You're like, hey guys, we should like get together and demand a substantive raise. You're like, yeah, we all march to the boss's office. I'm like, we all demand this. And the boss is like, hey, how about pizza for lunch? And they're like, fuck yeah. All right, we're good.
All right.
What? Love it.
What?
Why are we next Friday?
Why are you satisfied
health
with this? Like, yes, this is awesome.
And the worst part is, this was after they caught him bullshitting all.
Yes.
Like, this is his, like, penance. All right, you caught me. Here's some fucking trinkets I don't want.
I bought this for $2.99.
This is like the guy who did the Fire Fest. Like, he created all this bullshit.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then he got caught. And then he went on to do like more bullshit and like sold like tickets to like Beyonce and stuff like this. Like people still believe in him. Like, you know, he just bullshitted you about like this whole festival and everything, right?
It's like the dude who like gets in credit card debt and then he pays off the credit card with another credit card.
No, Jeff. What did we just watch? The Tinder Swindler.
Yeah. I haven't seen that yet, but I've heard about it.
One con to pay for the previous con.
And then after all of this, he's like famous, and now he's like wanting to get on a dating show. I'm like, dude, he's just rewarded by his shitty behavior.
Dude, that guy was selling like t-shirts for like $55.
That's what I like that. That's who the wizard is for sure. Going to Nebraska for some reason.
Yeah, I noticed the balloon.
Oh, so he has brothers too. I'm sure they come into the.
I know the balloon's at Omaha.
Yeah, they're definitely headed there. College World Series is in a week.
Why else would you be headed to Nebraska?
He's going to go meet with Warren Buffett. Some financials.
I like that he's only going to like Nebraska and Kansas. Like clearly it's easy to manipulate people there. So it's like, that's where I'm going to stick to.
Damn it, Toto did so good, and now he's fucking shit up.
It's a mess.
Like everyone else is like waving to him. Dorothy's freaking out. Everyone's like, well, see ya. So these people know they're all acting normal about him being human.
That's a good question, yeah.
No one's being like, wait,
did they know the
You're
truth
the
about
wizard?
their boss?
They were all in on it. It was an inside
You
job.
have to think if they all exposed him, he didn't have enough trinkets to give out to appease all of them. They still need to all stop in the gift shop on their way out. Buy a koozie or something.
Yeah. They've got to get something that says like the Emerald City or something like that.
Ooh, that'd be
Here
cool.
comes the true villain of the show.
Oh, she comes in the last second. She does one thing nice.
I mean, she got Dorothy to do all her bullshit for her. She killed her rivals. And now she's like, oh, thanks for doing that. I guess I'll let you go home now.
Why do we just bow to her? Like, this is how fucking fascist leaders get power, you know?
She's an egomaniac. It's insane.
We're uncovering the whole story on this.
Oh, now she's like, oh, by the way, you know, like you miss your family and you had a traumatic experience. The entire time you could have just clicked your heels and gone home, but I didn't tell you. So I can
like
manipulate
she goes, but you wouldn't have believed me was her reason. I'm like, no, I would have. You could have told me I would have tried it though.
Try me, bitch. Why don't you let me make that judgment? Glenda is a disgusting person. Fucking defensive villains, we can do inoffensive heroes. Glenda from The Wizard of Oz. My God, what a contosaurus.
She's really bringing a lot of bad to the table here.
She's given the feisty redhead a whole new meaning. People will not like this interpretation.
Toto too. Those are magic slippers. Why didn't you tell me this an hour ago?
Plus, they're not even comfortable.
Yeah, I know they're ruby red slippers. You can't see the blood that's coming out of my heels because it's blending in.
But it's there. I don't have calluses yet. So does this mean that the Wicked Witch of the East had this power always, or is it just something that when Dorothy puts on?
No, Dorothy could have easily done it this whole time.
And Dorothy's
like,
had,
you wouldn't have believed me.
Yeah, that's just pretty flawed rationale there, bitch.
Everything went from black and white to color. I would have believed you. Shit went sideways.
Yeah, what about my current situation would this be the most unbelievable thing? That was almost on the lips, that kiss.
He kind of slid. Yeah, he wanted it.
Not his first rodeo. He's been friend zoned before. I bet all of them tried it with Glenda, and then like halfway through the first date, they're like, "Oh my God, all she fucking does is talk about herself."
She's insufferable. And then to kind of round out the end of the movie, one of the most other iconic lines from this.
Yes. In fact, this is so iconic that people don't even know what it's from. It's just so ubiquitous. Like,
yeah.
You just say, like, it's just said all the time. You don't even know that's from a movie.
Yeah.
So that's why we get the, belief that this was all a dream, right? Here we go.
Whenever she was walking on the fence and fell into the pig pen or pigsty, that's when she was knocked out.
But see, that's interesting. So this is maybe a fair question. In the books, which I haven't read, do we know, does she enter Oz in a different way? Because clearly, like, it's a place, unless she just keeps having concussions.
This is 1939 NFL. Like, she didn't have a good offensive line.
Right. And her helmet was like a fucking
a meat
piece
helmet.
of leather that they like. Yeah, basically.
But so Nate, honestly, like I have absolutely no idea. So like, and maybe I'm remembering wrong, but if when she falls into the pigsty and hits her head, but am I misremembering it already? Like, don't we get I don't remember the name, the Mrs. Gulch or whatever after that, who says Toto bit me?
Yeah.
Before the tornado.
Mm-hmm.
And she takes Toto with her.
Maybe she even imagined that.
That's what I'm asking. Like, yeah, is everything imaginary after that? Like, I don't know I don't know enough about the story.
Because it's weird to like imagine like your normal life for 10 minutes and then you go to this weird fantasy.
That's my question. Yeah.
Yeah. To my best knowledge, my understanding.
Interesting. Okay.
Because then bad things happen. She runs away. Then the tornado happens, and that's what triggers her into.
So in this story,
do we know if the tornado was real?
I don't think so.
Maybe it just didn't like.
But what's funny about this is like, if that is the case and this was all fake, that means Oz was a world she's never witnessed in terms of the color too. So she goes back into her black and white life and acts like it's normal. She's not like, whoa, what? I need color in my life.
Well, I mean,
like, this is really diluted now. and depressing.
I mean, the black and white is just because it's a movie, so.
But why did we see color though? We're seeing.
I think it was just an aesthetic for the movie to transport you to a different time.
Because you're racist, so all.
But it was for her. See, I think she saw.
I think
the color
Cycling
that we
thinks
saw.
like before 1940, like real life was in black and white.
Yeah, it wasn't. What do you have to prove it wasn't? Show me one picture.
Honestly,
or one
prove
video.
it wasn't. You can't.
Okay, you got me. Okay, maybe it was.
Last question I have before we do closing thoughts. So, do we know anyone off the top of their head, like the books? How do we? Is it just like maybe stories happening in Oz without Dorothy? Like obviously the world, if it's real, it could still exist without her being there. Or does she somehow re-enter?
I have absolutely no idea. If I you know what? I'm definitely gonna like be looking this up after.
Yeah.
I don't know if Dorothy is related to Oz in any of the books and what's canon or what's not. It's funny because this movie is so famous and iconic and just part of culture forever that we don't know. Like, I think the even though everyone's seen this movie, I can almost guarantee you almost everyone doesn't have an answer to that question.
Yeah. I don't really know many people who have read the books, so.
Isn't that strange though, considering what like phenomenal like cultural film, like, you know, where everyone knows everything about it. This movie is almost like the anti that.
Well, and just seeing like small things that like clearly have been like perpetuated a million times over, like the Queen's Guard like sneaking up behind them, having the fight, and then they take their costumes. Like Nate said, like that's a weird thing that's been done a billion times, and you never realize. Okay, the Wizard of Oz did that first. Just funny. Oh, yeah. All right, so that was The Wizard of Oz from 1939. Last thoughts, Nate. We'll go to you first.
Yeah, I mean, like you were just saying a second ago, like there's so many things that you can see in these older movies that perpetuate into other films in perpetuity, really. And it's kind of cool seeing that. But yeah, it still holds up. It was I think it was pretty groundbreaking for its time, and you got so many great songs that still are resonant today, and so many lines that are resonant today with people. But yeah, it's one of the classics that needs to be watched by generations to come.
It is weird how, I don't know if there's like a name for this phenomenon, but like I said, kids that haven't even or will never see the movie will still know the songs.
Oh yeah,
like,
for sure. I think a good comparison is Star Wars, like what Psycho was saying earlier, like I am your father. Like people who haven't even seen that movie, it's just like in pop culture so much. Yeah. People know that line who haven't seen that movie, even if you're 10 years old. I mean, this transcends.
Yeah, my niece is 6 and knows it.
Yeah, this is the same thing. It transcends any other thing in culture. So
it's crazy. Cycly, how about you? Are you still shaking up like me about the Wicked Witch?
Yeah, Nate, I finally remember what I was wanting to say to you when you went to the bathroom after you. Yeah. It was about how, and what really sticks with me is like, I think you and I know Jeff, you especially too, like the three of us have at least tried to appreciate older films and gone back and checked out. And there's films I'll admit that just could be iconic, like Citizen Kane, you know, or
that's Gone with the Wind, which recently rewatched.
Yeah, or like Gone with the Wind. I'm talking about like the iconic, like everyone knows, like Wizard of Oz. Well, yeah, like if you made that film today, would it be as good? Probably not. But like watching it right now, I'm like, you know what? I understand why it was so fundamentally iconic at the time. Like how crazy that would have been to see in 1939. Like seriously, 40s and 50s movies feel older than what we just saw, in my opinion. But I've seen like movies like Citizen Kane and Gone with the Wind, which are arguably more iconic and legendary. Like I don't feel like they do hold up as well. So I'm not saying Wizard of Oz is like just on its own and, you know, one of the greatest films of all time. I think it's just like symbolic in what it inspired and referenced for forever and will continue to. So my last thought is in terms of some of the older films we've all been watching, I think this is probably the best one that holds up and is influential.
Yeah. It's a great point.
Yeah, it's crazy to see like its imprint on things. And then I just think like you have to give it mad respect for like the shit that it was doing at the time, I can't even think of something nowadays that could be like so different from anything else we see. It's probably impossible because we've seen it.
I have one for you. Avatar.
I knew I was about to say that. Damn it.
Motherfucker.
I knew Jeff was going to love
that. Good stuff.
Yeah, but at the time, like, it was incredibly risky, and somehow, like, people had the balls to still make it. So
yeah.
Now, with all that said, it's a horrifying film to read about, like, what actually took place on set.
Yeah, it's a bit dodgy. Dodgy with some of the practices that they were doing.
We could almost do a whole episode on like how fucked up the making of The Wizard of Oz was.
Shit, that actually would probably be a pretty cool episode to do.
Yeah.
My God, like Nate could just bring like, all right, here's some crazy shit that happened. We didn't even really get into the suicide on the. I mean, we mentioned it like, briefly off the top.
Yeah, I mentioned it a little. Yeah.
All right, we'll end with that, with how controversial The Wizard of Oz was. Basically, if you were if you were involved with making the film and you got out like in one piece, or like you could afford food afterwards, you probably made out a fucking champ. Because most
unless
of the people
you were a woman,
except for Terry, who played Toto. That guy, honestly, or that girl dog. It's weird. Female dog.
The only female. Yeah. If you were a little person or female human, you did not make it out of this movie. Okay.
All right, for our legal counsel, Ron Cycli, American hero Nate Thurman, I'm the mayor, Jeff Hornacek. We are the Bro Force Squad podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Bro Force Squad. Type in Bro Force Squad as 3 separate words on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Letterboxd, iHeartRadio, anywhere you want to find podcasts or anything of that sort. Find us there, and go to our website, broforcesquad.com, for all of our content and our top 100 movies list of all time for each of the bros. Till next time, there's no place like home. Because the food's cheaper, really.